Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Newport Residences. This is a standout freehold development located right in the CBD. It's a rare opportunity because it's possibly the only freehold option in the prime area, and it's also by a very reputable developer. Here's what we will be covering today. First, an introduction to Newport Residences. Then we'll dive into the livability of this condo versus the surrounding, as well as the unit mix and the views you will be getting, followed by the intrinsic versus extrinsic value of Newport, and the final conclusion. So Newport Residence is the only freehold residential in the CBD area. There is just a 3 minutes shelter walk to the upcoming Prince Edward station on the Circle Line, which is expected to be fully connected by early 2026. Besides Prince Edward Station, Newport is also close to Tanjong Pagar MRT and also the Cantonment MRT. In terms of connectivity, we've already mentioned it's a short walk to multiple MRT stations. So the area is very livable because you're close to 100 AM Mall, where you can do your groceries at Don Don Donki or grab a meal. You also have a Tanjong Pagar Plaza with a 24-hour fair price and plenty of eateries along Amoy Street, Maxwell Market and Lau Pa Sat. As for the luxury status, it's freehold and offers palatable entry prices that we'll go into more details later on. It's a good choice for wealth preservation, appealing to the ultra-rich as well as those looking for a solid investment or a desirable place to live in the CCR. So it ranges from 1 bedroom all the way to 4 bedroom units, making it attractive for both owner-occupiers and renters, especially professionals on employment passes in the area. So now the project information. Newport Residences is developed by Hong Leong, a very reputable developer and a subsidiary of CDL. It's part of Newport Plaza, a 45-story mixed-use development with 246 units. The residential units will range from level 23 to 45. And the expected TOP is second half of 2027, which is relatively soon. We also have 131 parking lots, which is quite generous for a CBD location. That's more than 50% allocated. So moving on, this project is in collaboration with world-class architects like Nikken, Sekkei, ADDP, as well as consultants like EcoPlan Asia and Warhub. So we can expect tip-top standard for this development, no doubt. Newport's concept design architect is Nikken, Sekkei. They are extremely established worldwide and are known for creating iconic global landmarks. One of their most famous works is the Tokyo Sky Tree, which is the third tallest structure in the world and also the tallest structure in Japan. This gives you a sense of the level of prestige and expertise behind the design of Newport. Nikken, Sekkei also designed One Zabil in Dubai, which holds the record for being the world's longest cantilever building. Their portfolio shows that they don't just build buildings, they create architectural statements recognized around the world. So you can imagine Newport will be at this level of architectural pedigree. So for the principal architect, we have ADDP, a firm that truly needs no introduction. They have designed many well-known developments across Singapore, especially in the central regions. So their latest project, Zion Grand, was extremely well received on launch day. Many of their past developments have also performed very well in the resale market. For example, Martin Modern, also Seaside Residence, and various others. ADDP brings strong market acceptance and proven track record to this project. For the landscape architect, we have EcoPlan Asia. They have also done the landscaping for recent projects like Zion Grand and also Upper House, as well as earlier projects such as Park Esta and Jadescape. So these developments have also performed really well in the resale market, showing that EcoPlan has a strong understanding of what creates lasting appeal and value in landscaping design. For the design inspiration as shown in the artist's impression, Newport is a very tall building, up to 45 stories, and it is elevated, so it's even higher than normal. It will definitely stand out prominently when people drive or walk past the area. The design incorporates cascading garden with roof terraces, sky terraces, and sky gardens on different levels. This allows for visual connection with greenery and flowers, giving residents a more soothing and mentally refreshing experience. The greenery also helps reduce the urban heat effect, making the development cooler and more pleasant. From the exterior, you'll notice that the building has a very triangular, curvy form, which is very different from the usual boxy cookie cutter design, which I'll go into in more details later on. From this schematic diagram, you can see that the residential units start from level 23 and it will go all the way till level 45, which is where the penthouse is. Above that, you have the roof garden, which we call it the Newport Skye. Level 2 to 9 will be the office spaces. Okay, and then level 10 to 22 will be the service apartments along with their respective sky terraces. So basement 1, 2, and 3 will house the car parks for the residential units, service apartments, and the office components respectively. So a point to highlight, even though the residential starts only at level 23, the actual elevation is equivalent to around level 33 of a normal high-rise building as the development is elevated. So when we are looking at starting prices or comparing stack heights, we should compare level 23 here to level 30-something of a typical building. This also means the entry-level units already enjoy relatively elevated views. And naturally, the higher you go, the more unblocked and complete the views will be. This plays a big role in pricing the higher floors appropriately and highlights the premium of having truly unobstructed views. So this diagram shows the building height and how the views work. So towards the Burnham Street side, you enjoy city views because of one Burnham, which already is of a certain height. So for full view clearance, you likely need to be at level 35, 36 or so and above. As for the sea-facing units, the views are currently pretty much unblocked. So since we are facing the greater southern waterfront, we don't know the exact extent of future obstructions. Some views may eventually be partially blocked, but that will be many years later, and even then we are also not sure if they will be blocked at all. So because Newport is significantly elevated and the greater southern waterfront is a distance away, sea-facing stacks should still enjoy very good wide-angle views for a long time. Likewise, on the city side, due to the curvature of the building, units also get angled views even if parts are moderately blocked. Here we have a 360-degree orientation of Newport. The architects designed the triangular tower to maximize views throughout the building. So majority units will enjoy the sea views, especially those that are in the west and also northeast facing. So units on the north side will get the city views. So because of the tower shape, view lines are intentionally opened up, allowing residents to enjoy different vantage points from different stacks. Okay, this slide shows how the building will look like at night. So the cascading curves of the architecture make the tower look very elegant. The facade lighting highlights the curvatures and the greenery. There's a gradient color temperature from the bottom to the top, warmer tones at the lower part to the transitioning to cooler lighting near the crown. So this creates a striking contrast against the night sky and gives the building an iconic illuminated presence. There will be ambient lighting emitted from the nodes of the building, and the lighting colors will change accordingly to different festive seasons. So overall, it will be a very iconic building that stands out day and night. Here are some perspectives of Newport. You can see how beautiful it looks against the city backdrop. So the bottom image shows the crown overlooking towards the sea, a very stunning sight that will define the skyline in this area. So these are more artist impressions of the Newport Sky deck, the roof level lifestyle deck. At the very top, residents can enjoy the Sky Lounge Spa Pool, Sky Club, Sky Pavilion, Steam Room, Indoor Jet Pool, Sky Gourmet and Barbecue. There's also a full pool located at the roof garden, giving a very elevated resort-style experience. So this project is very exclusive with only 246 units. If we break them down, so 44% will be the 1 and 1 plus study, and then 35% will be 2 and 2 plus study, followed by 13% of the 3 bedrooms, and also 7% of the 4 bedrooms. And we also have just one particular unit of the Sky Penthouse, which comes with a dedicated private lift and 2 private car park lots. Later, I'll share some of the typical floor plans except for the penthouse. So if you like the penthouse layout or an exclusive breakdown, you can always DM me privately. Here we examine whether Newport Residences is worth buying by breaking down the value into intrinsic and extrinsic components. So the first intrinsic value is the views. Residential units start from level 23, which due to the elevation of the entire mixed-use podium is equivalent to roughly level 30 plus of a regular building. So even at the lowest residential levels, you already enjoy height and view advantages. So looking at the master plan, all the land directly in front are marked yellow. So this means the entire Greater Southern Waterfront area is subject to detailed future planning. At this point, we don't know exactly what will be built, and we also don't know to what extent the views will be affected. However, due to the setback and distance, it's unlikely that the views will be fully blocked. So as of now, you get very open, unblocked sea views. So if you prefer views that are more permanent, the city-facing units will provide greater long-term assurance. So Newport will be an iconic, instantly recognizable building. As mentioned earlier, because of its height, curves, and illuminated facade, it will be a landmark that people cannot miss when they drive or walk past. So its architectural identity gives you a long-term prestige and value, and this is the second intrinsic value I'm talking about. So another intrinsic value, Newport is actually in a more livable part of CBD compared to many older projects in Tanjong Pagar. So the reason being, we are actually very close to like Icon Village and also like next to just 100 AM Mall. Okay, and we're also very close to Tanjong Pagar Plaza, which has a 24-hour NTUC fair price. And also we are surrounded by many eateries in the Amoy and Maxwell area. And we're also close to multiple MRT stations, okay? Like I mentioned, we are just very close to Prince Edward Station, and it's 3-minute shelter walkway to the MRT. So compared to other CBD condos that are surrounded mostly by offices, Newport is in a much more convenient and comfortable pocket of the district. So the third intrinsic value, this will be the only new freehold development in this entire area and the only freehold project that is this close and sheltered to an MRT station. So for buyers who value luxury, convenience, long-term hold value, and freehold rarity in the CBD, Newport becomes the one and only option. So looking at the freehold projects in D1 and 2, yes, there are a few of them, but most of them are actually very far away, like in the Spottiswoode area. But within the immediate Tanjong Pagar vicinity, the only other freehold projects are Onzi at Tanjong Pagar as well as the Aries. So both are older developments and they are located further away. And they are not comparable in age, facilities, or stature to Newport. So this makes Newport the clear standout for anyone seeking for a modern freehold home in this location. Now compare Newport to recent launches in the central area. Namely, we have like the RiverGreen, Promenade Peak, Zion Grand, and also Skye at Holland. The three projects like RiverGreen, Promenade Peak, and Zion Grand, they are very close to Great Wall MRT in River Valley, and Skye at Holland is in Holland Village. So I think these are actually comparable in terms of the PSF if you want to take apple-to-apple comparison. So the first benchmark we use is RiverGreen, which is located right next to Great Wall MRT. So looking at the transactions from August launch, we can see that the units on level 23 at RiverGreen were transacting at around 3,000 PSF to 3,300 PSF. Since Newport is a freehold, and freehold naturally carries a premium, even if we assume a modest freehold premium of about 10%, we should expect Newport to be launching at around 3,300 to 3,006 PSF. But what if Newport starting price is only at 3,200? So remember, Newport's level 23 is actually equivalent to level 30-something because of the high elevation. So if let's say it starts from 3,002 PSF or averages around just 3,400 to 3,500, that is actually very reasonable for a freehold project in such a central location. Of course, we only know the exact pricing closer to launch day. So if you would like the latest guide prices, feel free to DM me. Next, we compare with Promenade Peak, which is also in the River Valley area. So for level 23, recent transactions are around 2,900 PSF for the 2 and 4 bedrooms. So for the 1 and 3 bedrooms, the stacks are very small and also very limited transactions. So we do not review too much due to PDPA, and we can't actually show the unit numbers. But I think this is a good gauge lah. So looking at the data, the 4 bedroom at Promenade Peak have already crossed 3,004 BSF. And if Newport has a 10% freehold premium, then we should expect around 3,600 to 3,700 BSF. But again, like I mentioned, what if Newport only starts at 3,002 and average around 3,400 to 3,500 per square foot? Isn't that a steal? So if you compare apple to apple, Newport at such pricings will be extremely attractive. Now we compare with Zion Grand, which is also in the River Valley vicinity. So average prices for level 23 for the 2, 3 and 4 bedrooms were transacted around 2,009 to the low 3,000 PSF. So like I mentioned, with the 10% freehold premium, Newport should be around 3,200 to 3,300. So even if the average is around 3,400 to 3,500, it is still very reasonable, especially when you consider the higher elevation. So for Skye Holland, we see the 2 and 4 bedrooms transacting around 2,900 to 3,000 per square foot. If we apply the freehold premium again of 10%, very modest, okay, we are expecting around 3,200 to 3,300. Again, recognizing the higher elevation, 3,400 to 3,500 is still acceptable. So comparing with the recent 99 years launches in Central, Newport is likely going to be a strong value proposition. Next, we compare Newport with the upcoming launches in Central localities. Okay, first we have the former Keppel Club site, which was won by Kingsford recently. Okay, based on the estimated break-even price of 2,444 PSF, okay, the per plot ratio, and assuming the developer targets a 30% profit margin, we can expect the launch price to be around 3,177 PSF. Given Newport is freehold, and let's say we just add in a very modest 10% freehold premium, theoretically, Newport should be launching at around 3,500 on average. So if you are getting 3,200, 3,300, 3,400, it's very, very attractive. Lastly, we compare Newport with the recent GLS site at Newton MRT. The break-even price for there should be around 3,113 PSF per plot ratio. So if the developer aims for a lower tier of 20% profit, okay, the launch price should be around 3,435 PSF on average. So we're not looking at a higher tier of profit, but just a modest 20%. So even for that, we add a 10% freehold premium for Newport. Then theoretically, Newport should be launching at an average of 3,738 PSF. So if it starts from 3,002 and average around 3,400 to 3,500 PSF, it is very, very attractive. So whatever you can get today, come next year, you'll look back and realize that actually the prices now are much more attractive. So comparing across both recent and upcoming launches, Newport clearly offers a very favorable price proposition for a freehold product in such a central, prestigious location. So after comparing Newport against other new launches, we can see that Newport is actually very attractive among its peers. Now we move on to comparing Newport against the existing supply in the immediate area. So in the surrounding vicinity, we have several older projects. So for fair comparison, we'll focus on the closer developments such as Altez and Skysuites at Anson, which are also located relatively close to 100 AM Mall. So we won't use one Burnham it has just recently TOP and there are still not many transactions out there. So we use these two projects just for comparison's sake because they are most relevant in terms of the proximity and the city living profile. So looking at Altez, the recent 2-bedroom transactions have been in the 2 to 2.2 million range. Okay, so if Newport 2-bedroom is around 2.4 to 2.5, I think you're getting freehold, brand new versus Altez, which is older and 99 years. So this still makes a lot of sense logically. Similarly, Altez 1-bedrooms have transacted around 1.2 to even 1.5 million. So if Newport's 1-bedroom is around 1.4 to 1.5, it is still very attractive. This shows that there is some price support from the area, although do note that Altez has relatively few transactions and most of them were from 2024 and before, not as recent. Next, we compare against Skysuites at Anson, which is another older 99-year-old leasehold project. So the recent one bedrooms have been transacted around 9xxk to even 1 over million. So of course, comparing with Newport, a freehold brand new against a much older 99 years project, is not exactly apple to apple. However, the point here is about the buyer choice and competition. If someone wants a more affordable entry price, high rental yield, short-term exit, then one-bedroom units in Skysuite or nearby older 99 years project will offer stronger rental demand and lower quantum, making them potentially more appealing for those specific goals. So if you want a quick exit or maximum rental yield, Newport one-bedrooms may not be the most suitable. So looking at the two-bedroom units in Skysuites, recent transactions only range around 1.4 to even 1.5-ish million. So if Newport's two-bedroom units are expected to be 1 over million more than Skysuites, then again for short-term gains, Newport two-bedroom units may not be the most suitable choice. The key point I want to emphasize is that Newport is a freehold product. It is meant for a long-term holding, and as most property investing plans should be, and buyers should be looking at long-term value, scarcity, and central freehold attributes rather than quick resale gains. So if you want a deeper analysis or personalized breakdown, feel free to DM me for a one-on-one consultation. Now we look at the layout comparisons. So for the one-bedroom units, we won't go into too much detail. Most are similar with minor variations, mainly due to facings. So they feature the dual entrance from both the master bedroom and the living room. So a wide, comfortable kitchen layout. And also, these are actually very functional and efficient designs, especially compared to many nearby older developments. However, I do want to highlight this point because the 1 and 1 plus study units make up the largest proportion of Newport's unit mix. If you plan to sell in future, do consider the future competition that you may face within the development and also within the locality, especially against more affordable options. So most two-bedroom layouts here are very conventional, with both bedrooms flanking to one side. Nothing unusual to object to. So there's one two-bedroom layout that stands out. The tucked-in kitchen, okay, and also the dumbbell layout with both bedrooms at the corners of the living area. So this may potentially be more favorable due to the better efficiency, less corridor wastage, and more functional kitchen positioning. However, preferences for layouts will ultimately vary depending on the view preference, the facing, personal needs. So one more thing to note, one of the stacks of the 2 plus study have a slight curved internal walls due to the building's design. We have viewed the show flat, and honestly, the curvature is not that obvious when you're inside the unit. So it looks pretty normal, but it's something that I still want to highlight to buyers so that they are aware. Now we look at the 3 and 3 plus study layouts. The 3 plus study layout has a very good configuration. It is extremely squarish and efficient. The kitchen comes with an extra utility, okay, and also a WC, which can double up as a helper's room or use as a storage room. You also get the balconies in both the living and also the master bedroom, designed to maximize the views throughout the unit. So the study is located right beside the master bedroom. Okay, so that can easily be converted into a walk-in wardrobe, dressing area, or retained as a dedicated study space. So for the regular 3-bedroom layouts, you notice slightly more curvature. So one layout has a curved master bedroom, okay, and then another one has the curve in the bedroom 3. So there is also a longer aircon latch strip on the outside. So do take note that Newport is not a GFA harmonized development, so the aircon latch is counted as part of the floor area. So despite the curvature, the 3-bedroom units still offer a proper enclosed kitchen, very functional kitchen layout, a comfortable master bedroom size. In fact, for a 3 plus study, the master bedroom is even wider, and it comes with a walk-in wardrobe space, which is a nice premium feature. So for the premium 3-bedroom layout, it also comes with a kitchen with a storeroom. And an additional WC. So the only trade-off is slightly more walkway space at the entrance. Okay, but overall the layout remains functional. As there are only one compact 3-bedroom stack, one stack of the 3-bedroom premium, and also one stack of the 3 plus study, if a buyer wants a specific 3-bedroom type, there are no alternative stacks. So it's very simple. It's either you want it or you don't, because supply here is extremely limited. Here we look at the only 4-bedroom layout. So this 4-bedroom stack sits on a very curved portion of the tower, giving it a very wide and panoramic orientation. So the curvature actually maximizes the views, especially it is a sea-facing stack. Again, inside the unit, the curvature is actually not that obvious, so it feels pretty regular once you step in. So the layout is highly functional. The dry kitchen actually flows into the dining, living, and then the balcony. So from the dry kitchen area, you actually get a very wide sweeping view all the way through the living area out to the balcony towards the sea. So as you're facing the sea, this creates a very beautiful extended visual corridor. You also get a proper wet kitchen as well as a storeroom. Okay. Do note that there is no private lift for this development. So the master bedroom is extremely luxurious in terms of the space. It comes with a bathtub and also very generous in terms of the dimensions. Okay, junior master, also very spacious in today's context. Almost similar in size to the main master bedroom, just slightly smaller. So the living and dining, the width you're getting is 5.6 meter, thereabout. So it creates a very luxurious wide frontage feeling, similar to that of living in a landed home. So even though some buyers may raise concerns about the curvature, in practice, it does not affect the interior usability. It maximizes the views and also provide a very unique architectural feel. So now some of you may ask whether the curvature actually affects profitability. So to address that, we can take a look at a recently TOP project with curved layouts, which is One Pearl Bank. So from the floor plans, we see that One Pearl Bank also has curved floor plates and slightly slanted rooms. Okay, if you have visited One Pearl Bank, you'll notice that the curvature is actually not that obvious inside, and the rooms simply feel slightly angled, but it's still very livable. So do know that One Pearl Bank just TOP'd recently, so the transaction volumes are still growing. So looking at the sub-sale transactions, I think the 2 bedrooms had average profit is around 163,000, as shown on the slide. If we look at the 3 bedrooms, they've also made decent profits. I think 300 to even up to 500k in terms of the profits. Averaging is about 371k. So for the 4-bedroom units, there are fewer transactions and also hence lesser data, but still there's an owner who actually made more than $500,000 in terms of profits. So based on the transactions of One Pearl Bank, the presence of curved layouts do not actually really negatively impact on the profitability. But also just a caveat, One Pearl Bank doesn't have as many transactions yet as it is a newly TOP project. So many buyers who bought later are still in their SSD period or haven't really actually sell. So we have yet to witness the long-term profitability of this condo. So the last extrinsic value we will discuss is the unit mix and how it affects future resale performance. Earlier, we saw the Tanjong Pagar area has a very high proportion of 1 and 2 bedroom units across many existing condos. So because of this, in the future resale market, smaller units may face strong competition, especially from older 99-year projects like Skysuites at Anson or Altez or even like 76 Shenton, so on and so forth, that are more affordable. So while these older projects are totally different products compared with Newport, they are leasehold, older, and also not as close to MRT. They may still attract buyers with, let's say, a certain budget who prioritize price over freehold status or newness. So this means future resale value for the smaller units at Newport may be moderated by the amount of competing supply in the vicinity. However, when we look at the larger units like the 4-bedroom types, the story is very, very different. So if we break down all the condos in District 2 with 4-bedroom units, developments like Altez, Wallet, Lumiere, and also Spottiswoode, okay, if we combine all the units Okay, all of them add up to only about 75 units of 4 bedrooms. And also they are 99 years and leasehold, and also they are older. So in terms of freehold 4-bedroom supply in this entire district, there's actually zero at the moment. And Newport will only add 18 units in total. So it's extremely rare. So whether you are buying a 4-bedroom for own stay or investment, its scarcity and desirability gives us far higher confidence in its long-term capital appreciation and resale potential as compared to the smaller unit types. So in summary, Newport Residence offers strong long-term value due to its freehold status, iconic design, highly elevated views, and excellent MRT connectivity. While the smaller units may face more competition in the resale market due to the large supply of 1 and 2 bedroom units, okay, the 4-bedroom units stand out as extremely scarce with only 18 units and is the only freehold 4-bedroom in the entire district. And it also comes with full sea view. So this makes the 4-bedroom category the most confident pick for long-term value preservation and future appreciation, supported by its premium layouts and unblocked sea views. So overall, Newport is a strong future-proof freehold asset for buyers looking for long-term stability, scarcity, and premium CBD living. Thanks for watching once again. If you found this useful, remember to hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit too. See you again in the next video. Bye bye.